Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is me Sayyid Shujatullah, your educator. Today in our geopolitical session, we'll be talking about the relationship between India and Saudi Arabia. As you all know that Mr. Modi ji, the Honorable Prime Minister of our country, has visited Saudi Arabia on April 22. Though he has to cut short his visit in order to attend a very unfortunate incident that has happened in Kashmir in the form of Pahalgam terrorist attack. He did a very wonderful job. He came to the country back as soon as possible and launched stringent measures against Pakistan and also took various other initiatives to prevent the terrorist movement across the border. That is one area of discussion. Now let us talk about the relationship between India and Saudi Arabia. And if you are thinking that India and Saudi Arabia enjoys very smooth and ice cream kind of related relationship, it means you are wrong. The relationship between India and Saudi Arabia is just like a ice cream cone softie. Sometimes these two countries work together very well, just like a cream part of the softie. Sometimes these two nations, with regard to Israel, with regard to Kashmir, with regard to religion ideology, they are like in a crunchy situation, which is sometimes little bit sour and bitter. That is the reason the thumbnail says that do we really need to trust Saudi Arabia as our long-term partner, a long-term well-wisher, a long-term permanent good friend of us, or the relationship between India and Saudi Arabia will have to be carried out by our government on a conditional manner. What do we do now? So let us talk about the various aspects about these two particular countries in various domains, such as economic participation of these two countries relationship. We'll also talk about the stance of Saudi Arabia with regard to the Kashmir and Saudi Arabia and Pakistan relationship, and we'll also give you a way forward what could be done. I hope this is all clear to you. Now let us begin our first important aspect of the discussion. Let us now talk about economic relationship between India and Saudi Arabia. The first point here is Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Kingdom, promised to invest around $100 billion in coming years in India. The second point here is India is the largest importer of Saudi's crude oil from the Saudi government owned oil company called as Aramco. The third point here is according to India's embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia's investment in our country are around $10 billion at this point of time. The fourth point here is Saudi Arabia Sovereign Wealth Fund, means the government wealth fund, is also having their stakes in Reliance Industries, means they are also investing in what? Private industries of our country. The fourth point here is India's imports from Saudi Arabia with regard to the monetary value, it is around $31 billion, whereas India's exports are around $11 billion. It means India has the net trade deficit of $20 billion with Saudi Arabia. And the last point here is after taking all the deficit etc., for Saudi Arabia, India is the second largest partner. For India, Saudi Arabia is the fifth largest trading partner. I hope this is all clear to you, which is also given in the slide here. Let us now talk about the geopolitical relationship between India, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and Kashmir. This is one angle. Another important angle is India, Saudi Arabia, Israel and the Gulf countries. This is another geopolitical we are having dimension. Let us come to the first dimension where India, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and Kashmir is there. Here, Saudi Arabia has never openly favored India with regard to what Kashmir issue. Remember this point. And more so ever, Saudi Arabia has favored Pakistan in 1971 war also. It means in two instances, India was completely debunked by the Saudi Arabia. Okay, but recently in 2024, Saudi Arabia has facilitated that India and Pakistan should resolve the Kashmir issue at the earliest by having a bilateral meetings. And Saudi Arabia here aligned with what India's perspective. Okay. One good thing with regard to Kashmir, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia is Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, all the Islamic nations and Pakistan, they are basically very closely knitted with regard to the Islamic and religious ideology. So that is one important point that we have to be very careful when we are making or forging relationship with what? Saudi Arabia. You have seen the case of Nupur Sharma. Okay, she has said something on a particular news channel and that has become viral, and BJP has to remove that particular person from the party itself. Pakistan has issued the contention letter. Along with that, Saudi Arabia did it, this Qatar did it, UAE did it, etc. It means what? When it comes to religious ideology, Islamic Brotherhood, all of them will become together and can isolate what? India. This is the point that India always has to remember when we are deepening relationship with what? Saudi Arabia. The second important aspect here is Saudi Arabia is sometimes snubbing, or you can say that debunking, Pakistan also. In 2023, when Prince Salman visited India, in his itinerary, he did not visit to Pakistan, even though Pakistan called him to visit. It means what? Here Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman made sure that, okay, I want to deepen relationship with India, so that's why I will not be coming to Pakistan. That was there. So not going to the Pakistan just beside India is an indicator, a message to the Pakistan that Mohammed bin Salman's progressive approach with regard to development is now evolving with respect to what? India. Another important point here is in 2020, Saudi Arabia had demanded repayment of around $1 billion loan from Pakistan. And when Pakistan asked the credit line with regard to the oil facility of $3.2 billion, Saudi Arabia said that no, we will not give. So there are two important instances where Saudi Arabia is not supporting Pakistan. And there are some instances where Saudi Arabia is supporting Pakistan. India has to forge a middle way that in what areas that Saudi Arabia may go against India or may act not in the favor of India. India has to be very careful when forging relationship with Saudi Arabia. The third problem here is all the Islamic countries. India is very close to Israel. Okay, but all the Islamic countries are having complete distrust on Israel. So whenever India sides with Israel, what will be the reaction of these Islamic countries with respect to India? So this is another important sandwiching thing with regard to India and Saudi Arabia relationship. So this has to be solved, but there is a lot of complexities there. That's why these things will be solved over a period of time, and it should be based on conditional trust between these two countries. Having completely blown up relationship with them will be a too much risk for us. That's why small parts, if we move ahead, then the relationship will become more better. I hope this is clear to you. Now, the very important aspect of our discussion is what has happened in the meeting. What is the outcome of the meeting? The first one here is an important GK point I will tell you. India's ambassador to Saudi Arabia is Suhail Ejaz Khan. This is the GK point. The second point here is Mr. Modi ji, the Honorable Prime Minister of the country, has been awarded with Saudi Arabia's highest civilian honor. The King Abdulaziz Sash Award was given to Mr. Modi ji. It indicates that Saudi Arabia wants to build deepening relationship with India. Not only that, in the recent visit, India and Saudi Arabia has inked pacts with regard to 6 important areas. They are space exploration, energy, healthcare, scientific research, culture, and advanced technology. So 6 important areas that we are having memorandum of understanding with Saudi Arabia, and these two nations are working on it. This is the outcome. Now, what is the way forward? What government of India should do because of the complete complexity that we are able to see through our eyes? So there is one point that we have to solve. So according to experts and intellectuals, it is very important that Saudi Arabia is basically a monarchical government. A autocracy is there. Anytime any other monarch will come and show complete distrust on India. So that is the reason this particular monarchical form of government there will always make India on its foot, that they have to be very careful to forge any deepening ties with Saudi Arabia. The second one is religion ideologies of India and other Islamic countries are completely different. So if any event happen in India with regard to religion ideology, Islamic ideology, then we'll definitely have a backlash from Gulf countries, may lead to what? Unnecessary tensions and conflicts between the nations. Okay, the third and most important thing that could be done in a better manner, and that will bring lot of hope to this particular relationship, is a new initiative has been launched, which is called as I2U2, India, Israel, UAE, USA. This is called as I2U2, or you can also call it as West Asia Squad. If these countries come together, no, the problem will be solved and isolating what Pakistan. When Gulf countries or Saudi Arabia, Qatar, etc. are meeting Israel and Israel meeting India, means you just understand that it is a garden like that situation. Pakistan is completely isolated and snubbed by all the countries, and we don't have to worry about any kind of, because we as a country are more interested in what? Development, progressiveness, gender equality. Our indicators with regard to SDI, etc. all have been doing very well. The last and the most important one is Indian Middle East Economic Corridor, which is also called as New Silk Road. The meeting of Mr. Modi ji to the Saudi Arabia was also having this one of the important area. Okay, it will increase the trade link between India, Gulf and Europe. Okay, in this all the Gulf countries are all the partners. Again, Pakistan is not the partner here. Again, we have isolated Pakistan. So Pakistan has to bend its knees and say to the world that they are now a country which want progress, okay, but does not want terrorism. They have been telling that, but we have been saying that we don't believe them because it's all lies. But they have to come to the terms and stop complete terror, zero terror tolerance for our country. That's all about it. Thank you. Take care.